Welcome back to UNX Fast Forward. I'm Christy Ganji.
And I'm Ethan Swanson. Tomorrow we're at Real Life Ninja Academy in Stanford for a course put together by Drew Dreschel, our third qualifier of the last round of qualifiers.
Yeah, a course put together by Drew. You know it's going to be intense, going to be really challenging. But we're looking for 3 more men and 3 more women to make it to our last major.
Right, and then after that we're going to get our top 8 men and women to go to the championship event in February.
Yes, there's a lot on the line here. The last major is your last chance to earn points. But today we're going to be looking at some of the athletes who are competing tomorrow.
And on the women's side, we have the woman who took first place at the second major, Abby Clark.
Abby Clark, and not only did she take first place, but she did it in dominating fashion, so fast.
She took first place. It was hers.
I mean, she went so fast. She won it off of her first run. Extremely impressed with that.
Yeah, I mean, she is amazing, and she's already guaranteed to go to the next major. But another athlete, we have Casey Rothschild and Jordan Carr sitting in 10th and 11th place on the season. They have to make it to the major in order to bump into the top 8.
Yeah, a lot on the line, especially for Casey. Missed out on the second major. Jordan's got some momentum making it to the second major, and so, and another athlete is Ava Colasanti, who took first place at center court to qualify among this group of athletes to the second major.
Really came out swinging. Not a name that we'd heard until that point, but now everyone knows Ava Colasanti. I'm really excited to see her run. We also have another bunch that have been to the majors before. Nikki Perella, Alessandra Murto, Mary Layden. They were at the first major. They didn't make the second major. They're trying to make their way back because they need to earn points if they want to make the championship.
Yeah, and so it's going to be really awesome to watch that unfold. But then let's take a look at the men's side of things. A lot of impressive athletes, starting off with Naj Richardson.
Najee Richardson, unfortunately, is going to be running first in the run order. It's completely random.
Tough.
That's not a great spot to be in, but somebody like Najee is so experienced. I don't know if it's going to affect him all that much, but we have a bunch of other athletes that are on the leaderboard. Dave Kavanaugh, Josiah Papel sitting in 10th or in 11th and 12th place on the season. I mean, also, Naj sitting in 15th, Joe Moravsky, Joe Meisner sitting in 16th and 17th. There's a bunch of athletes who have proven themselves, not only just in UNX, but in other competitions also.
Yeah, and not only that, but also, Thomas Stillings is making his way. We've seen Thomas so close to qualifying at a lot of different qualifiers, hasn't punched his ticket in, but he's going to be there.
Yeah, I mean, there are so many amazing athletes. Aiden Wood, who qualified and was at the second major, he's going to be here.
And really impressive youth athlete there.
So impressive. I've seen him throw 15-foot laches on Instagram. I wouldn't dream of doing that stuff. My shoulders probably rip out of their sockets. But, we have Connor Galvin, Lucas Rial, Anthony DeFranco, Mike Raver, Joe Capo. The list goes on. This is the East Coast, and the competition out here is so deep.
Yeah, I mean, the East Coast is so concentrated with the number of ninja gyms out there, and it's just, there's such a high level of competition.
They're popping out high-level athletes every next week. Boom, Exhibit A right here. Coming from the East Coast, Must be nice.
But so let's go ahead and get into our athlete predictions, and I'm going to start us off on the women's side. So starting off in third place, I'm going to go with Jordan Carr. This is her home gym, trains with Joe Moravsky. I think she's going to have an advantage here, and she's coming off of a really strong performance getting into the second major and then at the second major. In second place, I'm going to go with Ava Colasanti. We saw her compete amongst this group of athletes at center court in order to qualify into the second major, and she took first place. And one thing I liked about that run was her speed, and so I think that's going to play into this competition, and I like her for second place. In first, I'm going to go with Abby Clark. I thought her performance at the second major was absolutely dominant. I don't think anybody can touch her right now. She's on a hot streak, and I think she takes first place in this competition.
And for my picks on the women's side, I'm going with my third qualifying spot to Ava Colasanti. She came out so hot at center court last round of qualifiers, taking first place and blowing me away. I mean, she is so amazing. A little bit of a soft performance at the second major, but I think she's going to bounce back from that and make her way back to the third major and show us why she took first place at center court. My second place pick, I'm going with Casey Rothschild. She's had a little bit of unlucky runs, and especially getting a DQ at center court. I think if she hadn't DQ'd, she would have been taking a qualifying spot. So I think she's going to do that here at Real Life Ninja Academy. I mean, she's so strong, and she's such a proven athlete. She's so much experience. I think she's taking that second place qualifying spot. And first place, I have to go. You got to be crazy not to go with Abby Clark, especially after that major number 2 performance. She crushed the competition and, won the competition in her first run in the finals, finishing the course, blazing everybody else away. Abby Clark I think she's going to blow us away again at Real Life Ninja Academy.
Yeah, and I mean, I think just with this level of athlete on the women's side, the top three is so proven in the past.
It's tough to go against them. I mean, there are a couple extra spots that are maybe going to be available. It's a Drew Drechsel course. Who knows what's going to happen? But I think it's no surprise we both went with Abby in our first place spot. She came out so hot in the second major.
Yeah, I mean, she came out hot. And the other thing to note is that she already has a qualifying spot, so she does not take a spot. And there's really not as much nerves for her for this competition.
Yeah, but I mean, I think Abby, it'd be crazy if she wasn't top three, but really there's 3 more qualifying spots that are up for grabs, and we're going to see how it unfolds tomorrow. But on the men's side, looking at my predictions, and with my third place pick, I'm going Najee Richardson. I know he's running first in the run order. That's very unfortunate, but it's Naj. How do you go against Naj? He's so good, so consistent. Plus, I feel like Drew Drechsel courses and what Najee's strengths are really similar. So I feel like whatever Drew sets up that's going to set, a lot of athletes back is actually going to set Naj forward. I think he's taking that third place spot in spite of him running first in the run order. Second place, I'm going with Joe Moravsky. And Joe, this is his home gym. He trains here. He's comfortable here. Plus, it's just Joe. Even if he wasn't comfortable, I would still be picking him in my top 3. I think you have to. It's Joe Moravsky. He's a weatherman. He's proven us time and time again. He's making it to stage 3 so many times on American Ninja Warrior. He is so consistent, probably more consistent than almost any other athlete we've ever seen. And so I think he's going to be taking that second place spot. But number 1, I'm going with Connor Galvin. I've been picking a couple athletes starting with Naj that are really similar to Drew in their technique and their form, and Connor with the gymnastics background combined with his strength. I think this is going to be his time to shine. I think he's going to be proving to us why he's one of the top athletes, and he's going to make his way to the majors for the first time in style, taking that first place spot.
And so for my picks on the men's side, in third place, I'm going to go with Joe Meisner. I really like what I've seen from Joe. We saw him qualify for the first major at alternate routes where he was the only finisher. And I think with a Drew Drechsel course, it's going to be really, really hard to get through, and I think that plays to Joe's strengths. In second place, I'm going to go with Dave Kavanaugh. Dave is so creative with the way that he attacks courses, and I think on a Drew course, you're going to have to be a little outside the box if you want to break into the top 3, and I like Dave for that spot. But in first, I'm going to go with Joe Moravsky. Trains at this gym. This is home gym, and also it's just hard to argue with the consistency. Every time Joe steps on a course, he's so good, he's so fluid, gets on and off obstacles quickly, and I like him for first place, getting back to the third major. We both got Joe.
We both got Joe, but other than that, it's up in the air. And, we have a couple of different athletes, but there are so many other athletes that neither one of us picked that could easily be top 3. And then there's so many other young athletes that are so strong, too, that maybe haven't been on podiums before. Who knows what's going to happen.
Well, I want to point out, you're taking Naj, but he did draw the first spot in the run order.
But it's Naj. Najee has he's broken through on the biggest stage, American Ninja Warrior, when no other athlete has, or very few other athletes have. It's Naj, man. How do you go against Naj?
It worries me being in that spot because of how many athletes are behind him. I mean, and this is not isolation, so you get to see the beta, you get to see what he does and try to match that. It just worries me.
But the thing is with UNX courses is if you finish a course, you have historically qualified. Every finisher has qualified. And somebody like Naj, especially with a Drechsel course, I would expect to be very difficult. And I feel like it doesn't matter your pace or if you're faster than other athletes, stuff like that. It matters completion. If you finish the course, and I think Naj is going to.
I mean, we'll see. It's a Drew course. I don't know if we'll have any finishers, if I'm being honest here.
Appreciate your honesty.
But we're going to have to see. And so right now, we're going to take a sneak peek at one of our runs.
Mm-hmm. And we have Thomas Stillings, so let's check it out.
I know. Go get it. You're good. You're fine to step up. 105. Come on. Got it. 2 seconds. Nice.
And Thomas Stillings looking really smooth, especially on those gibbon swings. But, dude, this is a dressel course, and it looks so unique. There's so many things I've never seen before.
Yeah, I really like that gibbon swing obstacle. It's not something you see at a lot of gyms with that setup. And, I mean, looking at Thomas, it looks easy, but I think it's going to be really challenging.
I think it's going to be really challenging, too. But, you know, as we're closing out the show, I won our Athlete Predictions St. Louis last week. So Chris is going to make his way up to that UFO right there. And every time I say UNX, you got to do a pull-up.
Oh, all right. Here we go. All right, so for UNX, I'm Chris Ganji. I'm signing off. Ethan's going to close us out.
But, you know, so, I mean, it's a Drew Dressel course. It's going to be a 4-minute time limit. It's going to be so unique, and we didn't even see in Thomas's run, you know, for a UNX course specifically, you know, we didn't even see the last handful of obstacles. So, you know, we'll see if he can finish. You know, typically you finish a UNX qualifier, and then you qualify. Hopefully Thomas can make his way to the UNX majors for the first time. But so tomorrow you're going to be able to see the UNX qualifier, number 3 for the 3rd round of UNX qualifiers at Real Life Ninja Academy in Stamford. That's going to be on YouTube. It's going to be on unxnow.com. Make sure you check it out. UNX, you know? Until then, I'm Ethan Swanson, and we'll see you guys next time.